For instance, you're a grief coach. You want to help rehabilitate widows and stuff like that. But we need to see your daily life. Okay, your background story is because your mom was a widow. We need to see that life. How do you relate with your mom? Can you tell us a story about at a point you didn't have school fees, or at a point your mom could not make decisions without your uncles, because in a society like ours, decisions need to be made by men. You give us that background so that a widow out there can feel like they relate with what you're saying. Because when you just keep telling them, do this, do that, one day they're going to ask you, but are you even a widow? In all ways, you can write as a caption. You can talk about it on your stories, Facebook stories, Instagram stories. You can make it into a carousel. You can make it into a reel. You just need to know that maybe every month, or badjukizayo koku story, ku background yeyo. You need to remind them over time. And there's a girl on social media that is Nigerian. I think her username is Obi something is her username. And the thing I like about her is that when she's telling a story, when she's trying to command respect in a particular area, she literally tells a story. So this one day she was telling us a story about how you need to accept your husband's help. And then she said a lot of times we form Miss Independent and whatnot. First of all, who has never had that? I feel like all of us have had it when they tell us accept help, accept help. But you see, it's different when someone gives you a story. And then she said she went to buy foodstuffs one day, and while she went to buy foodstuffs, she asked her husband, can you help me? I need to take these things back to my parents' home. And the husband drove her to the park. He got the things out of the car, put them on the bus, and she was just sitting in the car relaxing. And she said, every day I have been suffering, yet I could have asked. But you see, the reason that we trust her story is because she has told us the story. She's not just telling us, do like this, do like this, do like this, do like this. You need to tell the story. And when we are telling these stories about our lives, we need to tell these stories with a pinch of salt. There's sometimes when people come to social media, and for sure their stories are embarrassing, and you want to say, Gundi, why are you saying these things? The internet never forgets. Why are you saying these things? So when you're telling your story, one, mind the people you're talking about, because sometimes your story might have your mother in it. Your mother might feature, your father might feature, your husband might feature in that story. So how are you presenting this person to the public? Because one day you're going to be a great person, and your mom is called to the stage one day, and we are saying, that's the woman who burnt her fingers. Or your husband is called and you're there saying, we bless the Lord, let's celebrate my husband, let him come. That's the man who cheated. So you have to find a way to speak of this story. You're authentic, you're relatable, but sabi kaimbozi. And I think that is something that coach will have to maybe clarify a lot on, because I don't know how to teach public speaking. But yeah, there's a way that you need to wrap up those conversations. Then number two, be relatable. Be relatable is, number one is tell your story. Number two, let your story be relatable. Let your story be the kind of thing whereby someone can hear it and be like, even me, it happens to me. That's how you build that presence. Even me, it happens to me. Have you realized that those celebrities that we've been saying, the ones who have built names, the Rihannas and what, the reason that we feel like that is because sometimes they are raw and vulnerable and we feel like we know them. When she breaks up with someone, she'll come and say, I know you guys have really loved us so much, but it's the end of our journey. Then you're like, Emma, like you feel like she has involved us Bambi in her breakup. So tomorrow she launches a lip gloss line and you buy because you think she's your buddy. She's not your friend. She doesn't know you. But because she has let you into her life like that. So be relatable. Things happen to people every day. The problem is when we are coaches, we feel like we want to teach but not show people that even us, these things happen to us. I will be preaching reconciliation while giving my husband silent treatment. And I will talk about it, that by the way, even when I tell you don't quarrel or don't keep anger, for us we also quarrel. Some days are good, some days are bad. So you need to be relatable. And then you need to be known for something. You need to be known for something. I feel like sometimes we are so consistent, but we are all over the place. We are all over the place. If you've decided that, for instance, I'll give an example of like Coach Molly. You will never find, by the way, anything else, even when it comes to a lifestyle post. That, oh, I was here speaking at this church and whatnot. Mokwano, it still has emotional healing, one way or another. There is no escaping it. So you know that when you think about her, the first thing that comes to your head is that. But there are people who are everywhere. Some things do not have to go on that page. You say you went for brunch with your friends. Or you went to that bar, you guys drank. Let me tell you, that one will not go on your page. Differentiate. This one, let it go maybe on your WhatsApp status. You have to show people, but we went out and whatnot. Do you realize that there are celebrities whose personal lives you do not know like that? Like you know them, but you don't know them. You know them, but you don't know them. So you will even find them when they go to a certain public place. They have like shades on. They sit like in a dark corner. They have like, and you will never see them posting about it. Because the way their brand is shaped, it does not allow these other things to be in it. But in our quest to be consistent, sometimes we want to be consistent by, until we said post every day. It was my niece's birthday. Kati now, dear, who is talking about business and saving money and, you know, investing, niece's birthday. Unless you're giving it in the line of, if you're going to pre-plan for your child's birthday or your niece's birthday, here are a few tips on how to save money during the year to be able to achieve a birthday. Understandable. But you can't be all over the place. People need to know you for something. And that is why the other day I was encouraging us to have bios that speak about what you're doing. When someone comes to your bio, immediately they come to it. They should be able to know what you are doing, what you are talking about. And then also your content down should be able to show what you're doing. Because if you write for us in the bio, that for instance, you are self-confidence coach. Nenga, in the content, we don't see self-confidence. You're very much confusing us. So here's how, because now you're going to say, hey, you said lifestyle. Here's how you can actually diversify your content to make sure that it balances out, okay? Personally, I do faith, I do relationships and family, and I do, okay, now my lifestyle rotates around family and relationships as if like that. So what I do is that I make sure every morning I have an Instagram live on faith. So 5 a.m. I wake up, I do the Instagram live through to like 6:30. So it stays on my page. So anyone who followed me because of faith knows that every morning at 6 a.m. I catch this person. The other time I told you when I started doing Instagram lives, I used to have two people. Two people come, then one leaves, it remains one person. Then that one leaves, it remains 0. Then one other one comes, who is different from the other one who left. I remember those Wednesdays of 2022. Nayenga mbera ku live for an entire hour. 3 people, 2, 1, 0. 6, 5, 2, 1, 0. But let me tell you, when people see you consistent like that, because the good thing with the live is that you talk as people are responding in the comments. As they respond, you respond to their... So you can even put up like a Q&A and tell them, ask questions. So they are asking as you are responding to those questions. A live is very good for building, especially when you're starting out and you need to build trust with your audience. It can't just be by random posts. You need to start doing lives, maybe Facebook lives, maybe Instagram lives, but you need to do something whereby you're like in connection with people. So people are able to see you and to trust you. So the thing is, at the beginning, they will log off while logging on, but eventually they will come on. So you wake up in the morning, I wake up in the morning, and at 5 I have an Instagram live up to 6:30. And so for the ones who missed the live, they will still find it. So my faith has been covered. Then during that day, I either have a talking video with relationships, because again, I said explore all forms of content until you find what works for you. So for me, I found that talking works for me. Those are the videos that people actually like. Sometimes you might be a good writer, that when you write is when people actually understand you the most. You can track your insights. All the applications have that point where you go to settings and track your insights. You see which posts are doing well. And when you see which post of yours or the posts that have done well, replicate what you did. If it was humor, you came and said something funny and people laughed and the video went viral. Keep doing that. Relay your message in such kind of way, because that's what people have shown you that they like. Because at the end of the day, we are trying to reach as many people as possible. This content, you're not doing it for yourself. So don't do what makes you happy. Because let me tell you, if it was up to me, what makes me happy? But talking videos, you have to prop the camera, you have to first do a small makeup, then you have to stand, then like she said, tamanyi kugatta butono, then you have to speak, and then you don't cut the video so that you'll cut it at once during the editing. It's a lot of work. I would rather write. So during the day, I balance out my days. I say on Monday, maybe I'll give a relationship video. On Tuesday, I'll give a lifestyle. Now, your lifestyle is still related to what you're doing. If you're a business person, you're teaching business, let us see you applying business things like wake up in the morning, open your financial journal. Be like, so today I am, you know, this morning, because you can do your video and then you talk after in a voiceover. You open and say, good morning, today I am tracking my finances of yesterday, and you can be as honest as possible and say, hey, you people, your financial coach. Can you imagine how much I spent yesterday? And then you're breaking down for us things, and you're like, oh, yesterday my mom called me for money. I wasn't sure if I needed to give her the money, but because she's my mother, then you're explaining to us the concept of black tax, that sometimes something will not be in the budget, but they will call you. What will you do? So that becomes a whole topic. There are people who are waiting to ask you that thing. How do we cope? We have budgets. We know how to plan our money. But someday they'll call your auntie swallowed and ask, what's the plan? So you explain to them that, you see, black tax actually does exist, but this is what you do with it. So when people realize that their financial coach can also sometimes be musobako, then they know they can trust you. So you give them, so whatever your lifestyle is, let it be related. Like I say to her, the grief coach, if you're doing lifestyle, let's say you do like a career. Let's say you're going to do those outreaches of the widows, what. Do a career. Say, today, guys, come with me. We are going to visit the widows of this place, Come with us. So the biggest problem of these widows is actually, then you can even ask them, the ones who are comfortable being in camera, you ask them questions. You add that in the reel. Maybe when you're asking them, what's your biggest struggle? Finances, what's your biggest struggle? Loneliness. Then you say, we have collected all these women and they have different struggles, but today we're going to address this struggle. So maybe in the reel we can see you maybe talking to them, and then you tell us what you talked to them about. So that is lifestyle. Then remember, as part of grief coaching, you also have to teach people that, for instance, they have to be prepared for the future. Because none of us has a timetable to death that the person might die. So you're teaching women also who are married that, you see, you need to be prepared. That in case you become a widow, what's the plan? Does your husband have a will? Have you guys spoken about wills? Have you spoken about joint property? Have you spoken? All those, you know, it's a very, very wide aspect. Okay? A very, very wide aspect. So I expect that even when you're doing lifestyle, it is still around the things. For instance, yes, please. Oh, they say the microphone. Huh? To you. So Ruth is a teenage coach. Okay? A teenage coach who has a teenage daughter. You know that something that you can do can be like, for instance, you can give us a segment that is called Talks with My Daughter. And then you just sit with your daughter on a certain day, get your clothes, put them there, like 6 dresses, even has 6 dresses. Then you sit and record like 12 videos, 2 in each outfit. Oh, okay. So, but then you can find maybe another teenager who is maybe comfortable, because there are teenagers there who are comfortable with the camera. If maybe your husband is not comfortable with his children being in it, you can find a teenager, and then you still name it Talks with My Daughter. And then you're asking, maybe you write down questions that a teenager might ask you, or you ask the teenager, what questions would you like to ask me as an adult? And then the teenager asks you, and then you answer all of these questions, okay? And these videos don't have to be long. The thing about social media is that you are replaying the same information. Let me tell you something I said last week, I might say it this week again, and I swear people will act like they never heard it last week. They will act like they never. I've seen people, there are people who I'm very keen on. There's this Nigerian content creator who does food content. Let me tell you, she can pull out a video of 2023. Nga, you're sure you saw that video? Us who are very keen. She brings it back in 2024. Exact video, nothing changed, nothing. She just pulls it back from her phone and brings it back. And it will still get like 20,000 likes. So sometimes you might be there saying, I fear to repeat content. They did not see it. The same way they didn't see your clothes. You can repeat them next Friday. We don't know what you wore. Repeat it. So repeat the content as long as you are driving it home. So, that was about the lifestyle. So you have to balance. You say, okay, I post maybe on Monday, I post something of talking. Maybe Tuesday I make a post a picture post. Wednesday, I do some lifestyle. Thursday, usually Wednesdays and Fridays are good for lifestyle. Saturday is really good for usually reset. Like, may I skip a day and usually it's Saturday. Then Sunday, people are home. They're really on their phone, so the engagement will be a bit high. Then on Sunday, you can sort of do that end of the week vlog or anything like that. If you've done home shopping, because sometimes, for instance, like as a nutritionist, as a nutrition coach, if you are going to start the week and tell us to drink water and eat vegetables, you must show us that you went to the market and bought those vegetables and the water. Do they buy the water in the market? Okay. That you boiled the water and you put it in tins and everything. There's this other content creator, I think, who does food for her child, break for her child. She's called Eat with Zion on TikTok. She started out with preparing break every day for her child. What my child takes for break, what my child takes for break, what my child takes for break. Now she owns a whole container brand, as in she went to China and they got her different really cute, because people used to ask her, hey, Bananga, your child's containers are very unique. She built a business out of it. Because at the end of the day, if this coaching that we are doing does not produce for you money, we get kutama. You'll be posting every day with your mouth in the nose. After 3 weeks, you're like, Mfachi, let me go back to my normal 8 to 5, or let me go back to my business. It needs to be able to give you money in like 7 directions. That you have ebooks, you have events, you have one-on-ones, you have group things, you have Smanya team building. It should be able to give you money in all ways. You have merchandise. You know, people who have even branded like t-shirts and caps and jumpers. Hey, and people buy them. Let me tell you one example of a person like that is Beyonce. Beyonce has built a cult. You can't abuse Beyonce on this internet. Do you want to die? Do you want people to abuse you until you even go into depression? She has built a cult. She has made people literally like her to the point of they can die for her. So when you get to that point, you can even print t-shirts and people will shamelessly wear them with your name on. Cups, what? Books, and people will shamelessly carry them around. But to do all that, you must be able to tell a story that people are able to relate with. People feel like you're their friend. Then when you are making these posts, you need to always put a call to action. A call to action usually comes in the caption. Sometimes it comes, if you do a voiceover, it comes in the, you can ask in the voiceover. Always ask people things. Am I smart today? You're a fashion content creator. You've added blue and pink and green and what? Ask them, am I smart? If I tell you you're not smart, it is okay, leave the comment there. Sometimes some of us are scared of negative criticism. When they tell you a bad comment, you go and delete it very fast. Leave it there. Because people need to see that your posts can have good and bad engagement. Because at the end of the day, when you also want a brand to reach out to you, brands look through your comments. They're like, oh, this person is able to take negative criticism. They're able to take negative feedback. So it means you're authentic. But sometimes when someone says a negative comment, you run, you delete it. I want my things to be looking nice. No, not everybody's going to like you. And by the way, you see on this internet of Mark Zuckerberg, 85% of your followers will not like you. Either you do one wrong thing, that is when you know they don't like you. The very people that were hyping you, hey, you're the best, I'm glad I followed this page, do one wrong thing. And you will find them on every blogger's post. Yeah, that girl, you know, she's even proud. That time she came to an event, I tried to speak to her, she refused. Kombe Bambi, they tried to speak to you, you were rushing, the event had ended. So, put that call to action, ask. Ask a question. If you finish making your post, ask, is there anyone who struggles financially like me? Is there anyone who has struggled maybe with their water intake? Whatever your post has, always make a call to action. Because we also don't know what to do. You give us a post, we read the caption, then we leave a like. Because you've not told us what to tell you in the comments. Should we say, nice post? Thank you for this information. Because also we can look like frauds if 20 of us all said, nice, nice, nice. Ask us a question. Okay, so what would you like me to talk about next time? And when you find something that people want to talk about, make it a series. That thing works. That thing works like magic. And you know what you can do? you even repurpose that series. Let's say, give me a random topic. Give me a random topic. Hmm? A date, narcissists, you can be like, okay, so today you come and say, today we're going to talk about the signs of how you can spot a narcissist. So maybe you give small signs. Sometimes when I'm making notes for speaking on social media, I usually try to make them easy to remember. I can even use one letter, and every point begins with one letter, like the 5 A's, or A, B, C, D, E, like that, to make it easy for people to remember. So when I speak about those, and in the comments someone asks, for instance, give me one of the traits of narcissists. I don't like relating with those people, so I don't even want to remember their things. Give me one of the signs. I know they are self-absorbed, they are very selfish, self-centered, yes. So you say, oh, one of the signs is they are self-centered. Then maybe someone in the comment is going to come and tell you, how do I tell someone who is self-centered versus someone who is selfish in a healthy way? So you know that is the next, the next post. So you go back, you film very fast, that's your next post. Then when you make that next post, someone else is going to come and ask you, how do I become, for instance, Coach here tells us to be deliberately selfish. Someone will ask you, how do I become selfish without becoming, maybe, without bordering to narcissism? That's a third post. So you realize that you have like 10 posts under that same one topic. And then you know what? After you've put out that series, you put it, I think all apps have it. I'm not so sure about Facebook. But you put them sort of like in a folder where someone can tap and they get all those. TikTok has it. Someone can come and tap on, let's say, your folder called Narcissism and watch all the videos. And guess what? If you see that they get that good traction, make an ebook out of it. Then if you see that the ebook is selling, do a tea party where you call women who are maybe married to narcissists or something like that. Tell them, we have a meeting. Of course, don't tell them like that because their husbands will see and they'll refuse them to go. But sort of just be like, whoever bought the ebook, we have a tea party. That will be like the code. Or when someone buys the ebook, you tell them, 2 months from now, we're going to have a tea party, da-da-da-da. You can invite your friends, da-da-da-da. So when they come to the tea party, then you're going to teach them at the tea party. And then you're going to give them maybe like a diary, a notebook or something where you tell them, now whenever you're angry at this person, record here. So you put nice cute quotes. Tell me those quotes against narcissists. Hey, those ones, self-love, don't worry, those people are bad. I don't know. I don't know. But you create for them sort of like a journal. So whoever comes to the event, they pay their money, maybe 100K, it comes with a journal. So this person is going to be there, and they've benefited from you on video, they've benefited from you in person, they have gotten an ebook, you've made for them material. Tell me why the next time you say, so I have this thing, they will not come running. But meanwhile, what you're selling to them is the same information. You've not changed anything, same thing. Because that is us as human beings. Everything that Major Coach tells us here, have we not had it before? Have we never had it? Is it not information that you find on the internet? But still you pay tuition and you come. Because you can never get enough information. So I want you to build that kind of brand whereby people are able to vouch for you, to show up for you like that. And so again, like I said the other Friday, because sometimes when you speak about these things, they seem so abstract. So sometimes you have to give like personal stories. So when I began doing relationship events in 2023, last year, 2022, 2023, 2023, yes. When I started doing relationship events, I was scared. I also didn't know. I had established myself. I had given myself the whole of 2022. Remember, I told you I was transitioning from stay-at-home mom content to relationship content. So I'd given myself the whole of 2022 as a transition year for people to know me, people to understand me. You get. So 2023, I'm like, okay. So here we go. We're ready for an event. And then I tried not to segregate and say singles alone, marrieds alone, because I wasn't even sure of the outcome. The truth is, even if you are a brand and you feel like, the truth is not many people will come. Always count 1%. Even when you're making sales, always count 1% of the people that you serve. Let's say you have 40K followers. You count that. How many will buy the list, okay, the threshold, 40. So I was there, I think I had over 11K, but I was there, I was like, okay. So people came Bambi. I think there were about 70 or so. They came. But while I was there, I had just ventured into this whole relationship thing. So what I did that day, I didn't even speak. I invited some speakers and, you know, they came, they spoke to the people. Me, I just welcomed everyone. I was nice. I made sure they had food, like a good host. And then at the end of the day, I thanked them so much for coming. And then they went. So 2023, I used that 2023 after that to continue building authority in that particular area. So I started one-on-ones, which had drained me since. Sorry, excuse me, sorry. I have, I started one-on-ones. Why? Because I wanted it to be that one person tells another, I went to that babe. She spoke to me. My life changed. And those one-on-ones began as phone calls of 20K. And then people would ask you, do they have a time limit? I'm like, no. Because if you tell someone something has a time limit, and they think of renewing their 20K every 30 minutes, people need to first understand you somehow. So people would pay their 20K. I listen to their problems, very draining. In fact, after you listen to their problems, you don't want to talk to your husband because you're like, all men are the same. It can't be that she's the only one in this country suffering like this. And so I listened to people's problems through all that time. Then I started telling them, oh, you guys, I also offer bridal shower services. My bridal shower services were 150K, which sometimes someone's bridal shower would be somewhere, and that 150 is the fuel. But you're building the brand. People need to be able to trust you. So whoever would have a bridal shower and be like, oh, she spoke sense, would refer you to someone else. Oh, she spoke sense, would refer you to someone else. And sometimes you're going to do those things for free. Also, do speaking engagements for free. Someone has an event, Coach Mori has an event. If anyone here is an emotional healing coach or one way or another, rush to me. Can I give me only 5 minutes to speak at your event? Give me 5 minutes to speak. Because also you're building the capacity. You see how we sit here and we just be here listening? When will you speak? By the subsequent classes, yeah, you guys are going to be coming here and speaking, like Coach said the other time. Because when will you now build the capacity to speak? So I would find people, someone says, I remember I did about 7 bridal showers for free. Because you know there are those people on Instagram who are as if celebrity, and then they be talking about their journey. So we're going bridal fitting, bichingo yo mwesi wako inbox. Hi, can I speak at your bridal shower? Over one. I remember a bridal shower that I spoke at of some girl whose husband is a celebrity of sorts. He's like an MC, TV presenter, things like that. And so I spoke at her bridal shower for free. And from that time, like, when the husband, you know, I think, you know, he got the recording and whatnot, he started referring me to places like, oh, you're the bridal shower person? That's the person. So I sacrificed that money that I should have asked for to build that kind of trust. Because maybe if I had told her, I want to speak at your bridal shower for 400K, maybe she would say, I can't afford it. I'm sorry. So sometimes you're going to do things for free. You're going to go and speak at events for free to build that kind of capacity so that people are able to trust you. So that was basically what I did in 2023. I did bridal showers. I did one-on-ones. I tried to do sort of like group coaching. You know, you tell people, if you're a group of 10, calculate 300K as a group of 10, like 30K. Sit with them in a room, speak to them about things. So by the time that we got to October 2023, I felt like I had built enough capacity. Even the numbers had shot up because I had moved. I remember one of the things that made me shoot up was when I came out to talk about being in a long-distance marriage. So I just came, I talked about it normally. Kumbe, some Kenyan influencer who is very big in Kenya was starting a long-distance marriage, like her husband was moving. So she said, oh, there's this Ugandan girl who, by the way, talks about being in a long-distance marriage. Because I remember that day I got like 10K followers in one day. I'm like, wow. But remember, that's a story that in my ordinary life, I did like to talk about. Because every time you talk about and say, oh, I'm in a long distance relationship, one of you is. So sometimes you fear that kind of backlash. You're like, now if I just this, then people will say this, will say that. But you see, at the end of the day, these people don't feed you. And there are people also who you're helping with your story. There are people you're helping with your story. There are people who are like, the reason that I got hope in life again was because there was a gentleman who said that he almost, was it suicide? His story was a bit touching, but also, he said it in a very funny way. But there is someone who is, you know, touched by your story like that. So don't hide your story. So that's what I did during that time. Then I had built a bit of a following. I had diversified. I had gone to TikTok. Ngaba kuvuma. No, so kind of 3 months you don't go back. Then you go back slowly. And as if they've forgotten you. You go back like that until you build a thick skin. And you're like, even if you abuse me, by the way, on this internet, one of us will live and it won't be me. So get used to it. That's one of the things, by the way, you're going to build. Because let me tell you, the minute you get better and better, you're going to be dragged. I've told this story a lot of times. I was dragged in February this year. There was a page that gave me a whole month of dragging me. 1 entire month. I had just finished a successful event. Actually, 2 events. I had done a singles event. I had done a wives event. It was like people were over talking about it on social media. You guys, this thing was... And you know these things where people drag you and they're even dragging you on lies. Someone said, I was with that girl in Form 4 of 2000 and... said Form 4 of 2011. I was so confused because I was in Form 4 in 2008. How is it that you say you were in the same class with me in 2011? And you know so much about me like that? Someone even said, Mbu, before I got married, I had a divorce. Me who got married at 25. I divorced when? At 19? So that one will happen. Just get used to it. You see, at the end of that day, me, I convinced myself. One of us will leave this social media for the other, and it will not be me. It will not be me. You will drag me. During that month of dragging me, the people used to call me and say, Joy, first lie low. Don't post anything. I said, who? Me! Every morning, storing at Ablakachai. My stories were so intense at that time. Every day, when I'm eating something, I even said going to Java's with the kids every Sunday, we eat. And the other person is like, yo, this person we are dragging, guy, is not going anywhere. When the dragging stopped, even me, I stopped posting stories. I was also now tired. I was like, okay, I finished proving the point. I'm tired. So people will drag you, but go. If you're scared, you first take a step back like 1 week, but go back. Last one of them must leave, and they will leave it for you. So that was my 2023. I built. So October 2023, I said, you know what? Sometimes it's hard to respond to DMs because there's a point you're going to get to where it's overwhelming to respond to messages. You wake up, you have 300 TikTok messages. You have 500 Instagram messages. You have 700 Facebook messages. Panang. WhatsApp, they're like 400 also waiting for you. At some point, I got a PA. My PA also got tired because there's a way a PA responds that is not you. People can tell it's not you. So at some point, it became overwhelming. I said, you know what? What you're going to do is you're going to build a WhatsApp community. Because I remember also there was a time that social media shut down a bit for about 24 hours. Then someone came and said, you people who run your businesses on social media, you don't have your clients' numbers, you don't have their email addresses. If tomorrow Zuckerberg says we are closing ship, what's your plan? I said, wow. So I came to WhatsApp, I came to Instagram, and I said, guys, I'm starting a WhatsApp community. One for wives, one for singles. So I sent them a link to join. And so whoever joined, we put them in a database. I got my friends who, you know, you always surround yourself with friends who are overly, otherwise Zeka kind of friends. Those ones who like doing things. They are very good. Because anything you tell them to do, they will do. So while you're there chilling, you're like, guys, we need a database. Yeah, you send them to me, I'll write them. I'm like, yeah. So they got everyone's number, everybody's email. Why? Because there is a day that you're going to need to send these people personalized messages in their emails. Hello, we hope you've had a beautiful year. Can you give us any feedback? Have I served you well? Has my brand served you well this year? That's not something you'll come on stories and say, guys, tell me. Have I served you well this year? Or no, they will pass by your thing. They will see it, but pass by it. But someone feels like when you send them a personalized message, even if it's Merry Christmas, people who own businesses, you know. Sometimes you don't want to buy the coat. Na yo mwana kueleza ka message, we really hope this month is amazing for you. And you're like, oh, why? Let me buy the blazer. Let me buy it. So I built a community. When I built that community, like some of you know the story because I think I've mentioned it twice here, I had 1,000 wives and 700 single girls. So many of them had followed me because I told them, Bananga, you people, the first year of marriage was tight. Everybody said, yes, you're right. Even me, the first year of marriage was hard for me. Even me. So you're relatable. People can now understand. You're relatable. So I tell them, but you see, that first year of marriage was hard, but it became better. Because now it's 6 years down the road, but it's bliss. How did you do it? Because for me, I fight every day. For me, I do like this every day. For me, that man comes back late. So someone will come and say, that man comes back late. Then I tell them, also me, there was a time my husband used to come back late. This is what I did. And they're like, now we can relate. So also the single ones, I had given them my life story. There was a time I was in a solid campus relationship. When it ended, I had like 8 months of rubbish, small relationships that didn't make sense. And so somehow I feel like now I can tell fake from real. So these girls of the singles were also trusting me like that. So what I did, for the wives, it was easy because praying for my husband, I used to pray for my husband every day. Everything he would do, I would write in my black book. But everything he did that I wrote in my black book, I found a prayer point for it. I found a Bible verse for it. So I had 100 prayer points for me, myself, and, the family at large. For the singles, it was easy. I looked around. I was like, what are the problems I faced when I was single? Loneliness, peer pressure, urge for sex, lack of godliness. Wrote down the points, about 50. Looked for Bible verses that relate to those things. Can you fail to write a devotion out of a Bible verse? Kubongo wandika chotegedde. If you read the verse and it says this, wandika chotegedde. Then maybe you can add a pinch of your personal experience. When I was going through loneliness, this is what I did. Okay? Then at the end, you put for them a prayer. Prayer, no matter lines, what they will write down, as their own reflection. And so I said, okay, so the wives, we have a devotional for you. And we're going to pray 100 days. We've just launched this group. We'll do other things as time goes on, but we're going to first pray 100 days. Yeah. So we have a devotional. So the hard copy of this devotional is 65,000. And the soft copy of this devotional is 40K. And everybody at that point, everybody you tell prayer. By the way, let me tell you one thing that I think is going to help us thrive in the generations to come are things like coaching. People like to sell them hope. If you tell them everything will be okay, even if you don't give them money, people will buy hope. So if you tell someone that, you see, we're going to pray these 100 days and your marriage will get better, they are going to join. So you're telling them, this is how much this is. And 700 wives bought the hard copy. How can you be poor on social media? Me, I used to laugh when people would be like, I bought land from social media. I'm like, you guys are lying. But someone is going to be, in a space of 6 months, they're going to get 4 brand deals. Each brand deal paying them 3 million each. Then they will go and sell an ebook. They don't even have to go to NASA to print it, only an ebook. Then they will also host an event. Then they will do those one-on-ones and whatnot. And the person will come out with 100 million in 6 months. It just needs you to have a good financial manager who tracks your spending, in fact, separate the business, the brand, from your personal life. And you will make money. Oh, you will love social media, but you will love coaching. And so I got those. They did while they were on day 50. People were already saying things. By the way, at that time, you gave us this scripture of a harsh answer. Or rather, a soft answer turns away wrath. Bananga, my husband came shouting for me. I just said, baby, it's okay. Mama, the following day he did this. So you see, all those people who come in with testimonies are encouraging others. They are telling their cousins and their friends, Bunanga, there's a challenge we are in. It's like this. So even they're joining in the middle. Then once they won 50, because I wanted them to finish at the same time. When they won the 50th day, the singles started their devotional. What did I do? I built among these people competent people that could lead those devotionals even when I'm not around. Because we used to do a devotional at 5, at 1 p.m. and at 9 p.m. The same devotional, but since some people say, I can't wake up at 5, you'll have a 1 p.m. devotional. The ones who say, at lunchtime I'll be busy, they'll have a 9 p.m. So you get people around you who you know can lead this devotional. So I would tell them, me, I can lead 5. but there's a person who leads 1 p.m. and a person who leads 9 p.m. And they faithfully led for 100 days. What was it that made them pause their lives for 1 hour each day to lead a devotion? It's because they could trust me. I had built in them something that they felt like they could put their time on the line for my credibility. Came to the singles, same thing. So in 2024, because that was October to February 2024, actually November to February 2024. 2024, we decided, okay, now we're going to have split events. We're going to do a wives event alone, a singles event alone. And I feel like when we come to the point of events, those are the easiest things to plan. Look for a venue that doesn't charge venue. Make sure people don't eat a lot of food because food is costly. Give people extra packages. Let people go back home with like a cannot book, something to remember you. Those things like that. And then you're going to just add up and say, like I told you how to price the other time. Even when you're making an ebook, or you're making a hard copy book, or you're doing an event, make sure that on every head, you get a profit of 30K. If it's an ebook, make sure you're selling it 30K plus. If it's a session, 30K plus. So you price however you want after that. So even an event, if you're saying my event is 50,000, I really hope you have your 30K Madame Mori of every person of that 20K, because I hope they're not eating it in food. So you get, so that you also feel like you're being paid back. So we had the event, for the wives event, there were about 170 wives, and in the singles, there were about 80 something. But then, what I'm trying to explain to you is that these things are not rocket science. Just build a brand that people can trust. And that's by showing up every day in different facets of your life. Today you teach them, tomorrow you show them that you're actually doing. The other day you show them, you help them ask you questions. Okay, so how do we deal with this? You give them an answer. That's how you build that kind of credibility. And then you show up. Because sometimes, by the way, there are people we want to trust. Now we've trusted you for 3 months, then you ghost us for 6. Honestly, when you come back, we have moved on. We have found another content creator. And for me, I usually go through my following list. I told you guys, when you're, like, always check your following list every month. Go back to your page. Look at the people who, don't look at the people who are following you. Look at the ones you're following. For me, I like to maintain a steady 400, but now I moved to 500 because I ended up finding so many other people to follow. Friends, now this entire class, everybody who has posted their link before I follow you. Katkwegamba, the list had to become a bit bigger. But go through that list. Click on names. Some of them are your OGs who last posted in 2009. 9 was still in school. Okay. 2014. Why are you still following them? Because the algorithm thinks that these are the people whose content you want to see. Okay, those people don't post. Zera, let me tell you, by the way, I follow all of you who have shared your links on the page. But let me tell you, the minute I got to your page and you last posted last month, dear, bye-bye. Because you're not a serious person. Not a serious person. You can't take a break like that. If you were a doctor and patients need you, you say, this 1 week I'm going to be home. I don't have energy to come and treat you. So like I've told you, Banange, ladies and gentlemen, I really want you to thrive like that. Like, let me tell you, me, I get very happy when I see people like, maybe someone came to me at one point and they needed something and I helped them through it. And then I see them thriving. I am so happy. I am so happy. When I see you guys posting, even you who post reels with fat letters that cover your face, I am very happy to see you showing up. I'm like, at least we shall get there. Make a star. Someone reached out to me after the other Friday class and said, I want to launch a book. I was happy. I was like, yeah, that's it. But it can't be that you people, we can't honestly just be talking about things and we have wishful thinking. By the way, let me tell you, I'll post. By the way, you wait for me, I'll post. Then when you post, you've posted rubbish. We've waited for nothing. Just start now. And you will learn on job. Because let me tell you, I told you people, I deleted some of my YouTube videos of 2020 because if you see them, you will cry for me. I had a Techno Camon 12, which by the way had a broken camera a bit. So it had a bit of muchere in the video. Never day and I show up every day on YouTube. Do you know how hard it is to show up on YouTube every day? Every day, I have a video ya minute in ya watching tekayo. Then I've shown up every day. And I remember within like 8 months, I had made my first 1,000. Yet there were people who had crystal clear videos, vlogging every day. You know those Kenyans who vlog nicely? Come with me to rush hour. Oh, they are like on 500 subscribers. I'm like, And then let me tell you, Okumanya showing up is not dependent on your gadgets or whatever, but on your willingness. I kept telling myself, when I get, because my friends kept telling me, when you have an iPhone is better, you know, better quality and whatnot. I'm like, yeah, when I get an iPhone. The year I got an iPhone, I didn't post anything on YouTube the entire year. And the rest is history. And the rest is history. That is to show you that it is your willingness. It's your willingness. Because your willingness will find you with whatever you have. Me, I didn't have a tripod in 2020. First of all, it was even lockdown. I didn't have a tripod. I had my Techno Camon 12 that had muchere and a cracked kind of screen. And then I would put it on a window. I used to use natural light. I had no light. I used to put on a window. Now you know how window light can be. A cloud can pass in front of the sun. It's over for you. But I was consistent. Every day I show up. So it's really just like it is inside here. The showing up is here. Have you seen the quality of content that people put on TikTok? It's appalling. Someone will be there in a chiyumba and have a very bad camera and still show up every day like 7 times. And what they're saying is actually nonsense. The reason that bad people thrive is because good people are quiet. You have a good marriage, you keep quiet because they'll say it will end in tears. Then the ones who have bad marriages be saying every day, men are scam, men are scam. Your children will find men are scam on the internet and they will believe it as a truth because you with the good marriage you've decided to keep quiet. The economy is bad, the economy is bad. You who knows how to budget and plan, instead of coming to tell people, this is how they budget and plan. You guys, the thing that sometimes triggers me is how market women who be earning 200,000 take their children up to the university, even build a house, what? Then for you, you can be there. When you look at your bank statement, about 5 million passes through your account every month. Nenga bakubuzo inayo kowadde akajiko kettaka Kampala. This year in July, I brought the wives together. We had something called Money Matters Breakfast. Sometimes, as wives, the truth is, men who are married here, you know that for us when we get married to you, our finances are sorted, yeah? We don't think. We use you to think. And so, at one point, it was like an eye-opener, like, you guys, let's get together and really talk about our finances as women. Because what if your husband dies? No, God forbid, in Jesus' name. I can't even confess that thing negatively in Jesus' name. Okay. Granted, if you fall sick, God forbid in Jesus' name, okay. But also you as an adult, how can you be useless? Because what do you bring to this marriage? Surely cannot be legs, because he also brings legs. Matter of fact, you might be enjoying the legs more than him. So what do you bring? You will say I cook, he will say I buy food. Oh yeah, I produce babies. Without me, you would not have these babies. So the question is, as a wife, what do you bring to the table? Kuba tusobola kubanga tolina sente naye nga ne idea tolina. It can't, you just can't be useless like that. Because now if you're useless, and you see how we grow older like this, me, I'm here in my late 30s, almost at... And you're there. What will stop him from getting a campus girl? Except the fear of the Lord. What will stop him? Because the girl will be younger and as useless as you. I tell her leg game might be better because now you've produced course mania, now you have to take supplements, what? Over your legs be... I just ran up those stairs and I felt leg cramps when I reached here. Just stairs. The other one is fit, what? She even eats well, what? And then she knows how to slow tumbler na kumukolonga yo. For you, you have to first of all, for you, your skin has rejected makeup at this point. Because it is doing lines, what? It has rejected makeup at this point. So there must be a reason why this person is sticking with you. There must be something you bring to that table. So we're asking randomly, like, guys, don't be ashamed about your finances. What is your net worth? So we sat down, calculate your assets. Many people's assets were funds, but okay. Calculate your assets and your liabilities and people's net worth. Women who were driving Mercedes-Benzes, Auntie, me, I don't know cars, but those ones, the big ones, they are called what? Those ones, G, what? Their net worth was in negative. Okay, that car, it's in my husband's names. That day was very triggering. People cried. Because now that was the realization that toina cholina. If they walk up today and tell you, only carry out the things of yours in this house, even the clothes you might leave them. So when we had that, it now became an eye-opener that many people don't know about finances. So for you, you know finances, you know budgeting, you know how to make money, and you're quiet. Until you see that content tatambla, your people don't see it. The ones who are meant to see it will see it, and it will help them. You're not called to help the whole world. Help the ones who need to be helped. We're set for questions.
All right, thank you so much. My question is, how do I produce an ebook? Yes. And what is it?
Okay, an ebook basically, as it says, is a book that is electronic, which means you can send it to people via WhatsApp, you can send it via emails. There's actually a method where you can send it and they're not able to resend it, because sometimes human beings are very unscrupulous. Someone buys a book of 30K, which you have put all your energy in, they start sharing it to their friends, family, relatives. Yeah, but there's a method of locking it so that it's only viewed by that person. They can't share it. So that's how you protect it. So that's a book that that is shareable online. You've read some of those books where someone sends you, you open your Adobe and you're able to read it. That's an ebook. Then how do you do an ebook? Personally, I do my ebooks from Canva. So you open the Canva app. Designing might be a bit complex. That's something I think that you can learn over time, because I design even the designing, I do it myself. But basically, you go to Canva. There's a part for writing. Click on the keypad and start writing your notes. And then after that, you will segment them into pages. And an ebook, like I said the other time on the audio, the class audio, it can even be, if I bought an ebook for 100,000, it was one page. I kid you not. It was an ebook about 100 business ideas that's manual you can do at home over what? So you guys, this chick advertised the book. She advertised the book. You feel like if I don't buy this book, my life is over. Like her marketing is mwah. If I bought the book 100K, I open it, I see one page. I'm like, Oba, this is table of contents. Like if I scroll, I might see it was one page. That 100K has paid me since. Because none of those ideas were ideas that I could do anyway. But what I'm trying to tell you is, an ebook can even be one page. People just need a way of getting from one place to another. That's all. From one point to another. So you might be I don't know why I'm questioning on finance coaching. How many people are finance coaches here, or business or something? Because I feel like JSVA konyo. Hey, I think God is asking me to speak to you people today. Because you see, money, finances, has a lot of things in it. For instance, there is debt. Do you know that you can write about 10 ebooks about debt? You can even do 10 over modules about debt. You can even tell people, I'm making for you a course. We meet every Friday for 5 Fridays to just teach you how to get out of debt. At every as the are referring, and the next time you put it up, they're like, hey, that guy gave us those things, they worked. Kuanga, when you do, for instance, like courses, unlike ebooks where someone goes and reads and goes away, with a course, you sort of be on the person's neck. Eh? You give them assignments. You tell them, I want to track you, I want to see your expense sheet. You show me what. People have issues with money, by the way, you people. There was a time, when I say this thing, I even feel bad. There was a time this year around March. March. I didn't give my tithe that month. I was like, I'll give tithe at once. So every time that, I made money, I would just record my tithe for that time. So I'm like, I'll cumulatively give it at the end of the month. And that month I was broke. But why is it that when I'm calculating my tithe at the end of March, it was 700,000, which means 7 million had passed through my hands like this, and I couldn't account for it. I didn't know where it went. Meanwhile, I even had people who, those things where you have small debts. I promised to smanya go for someone's event, I have their 150. I promised to, we debt you. They are not paid, but also you had 7 million, you don't know where it went. I was so sad. Now you see, there are many of us like that in the world. We need financial coaches. They need to tell us, you people, This is how to separate your personal life from business. This is how to track your expenses. This is how to avoid, because Banange, let me tell you again, I will mention it again, in Africa, black tax is an issue. Obo savings are kasente ko senga onafa. And they rely on you. Attend a dollar for us girls who got married. They think Moko is going to send 3 million, as if Moko, that woman is Moko's mother. Then your husband says, Sina Bulungi Center, he gives you 200K. No way, kwata, no yongera kabiri. That abiri you didn't even have. Another aspect of black tax is weddings. You were getting married, they gave you 150. You can't give back 150. You say, I have to give back like 200. The money has appreciated in value. But at that point, that person gave you 150. They are taking it off 1 million. For you, that 250, you have 258. And you're taking off that 250 to give. So black tax is a big aspect of financial problems. And I feel like more coaches should talk about it. How do we take emotions out of money? And let me tell you, that will be a very fertile ground. People will really want to hear it. Because now, for instance, as men, I tell for men, your lives are hard. You have your own family, then you have your wife's family. When your wife's sister died and have school fees, it is you they turn to. Auntie Kati, mokom nange. Auntie Kati. Meanwhile, also your sister has school fees to pay. Then you're just there. Then also your wife is very useless. She watches Nigerian movies from morning till evening. No, how do you make more money to leverage in such a world of hard economics? People need to hear those things.
So how long should be the length of a video, maybe for Facebook?
Facebook, I'm not so sure, because lately people, I think, left Facebook because of VPN. But Facebook Lives used to really, really work back then. But for other platforms, make it 1 minute. 1 minute makes sense. But 1 minute really makes sense. People don't have that much of an attention span. So 1 minute, they will hear and go. But if it's YouTube, expound as much as you can. YouTube, in fact, on YouTube, the longer the better. A 30-minute video is better than a 4-minute video, because YouTube factors in retention rate. If you have a longer video, chances are people will stay longer on your video than. So if you know you talk a lot, YouTube might be your thing. Like, then when you're bringing to Instagram or to Facebook, you just cut a bit of that clip that you made on YouTube. You just cut like 1 minute of it where you said something very catchy. Post it on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever. But 1 minute is ideal.